Hello and welcome to the Punters Show on the brand new Punters Show website. Mark Lamoy, Glenn Pollop, Matt Taylor, hello there.
Hello, Dallas.
G'day guys, well it's a lot more, it's going to be a different show from now. We're going to be stand straight,
oh, is it?
near side, say all the right
You've got
things.
the black and white gear on?
Black and white again.
Yeah.
Alright, g'day everybody, what's happening? Punting
Can we
Saturday?
introduce a bench of some kind?
Just
Throw you onto the bench. if
I'm
you
going to
want
throw
for
this
me.
straight out this for everybody, just so I noticed that this week, go back and look at the last week's form guides. Now when you take your mind back 30 years and you think about life, now you think that if there's a lot of something, there'd be a lot of something. If there wasn't, how the fuck? There are $85,000 races in town and we get 4 and 5 horses, 3 from Ola. But you go there every other day of the week, like Maria the other day, they're 21 in every race, they're racing for 10 and 12,000. If you told someone from another environment or another marketplace, they go, oh, that doesn't make sense. So our ratings-based system, or whatever it is, that doesn't make horses eligible enough to race, is obviously just got to go.
The top of the pyramid is too strong.
Yeah, it's just got to go. We've got to get rid of it.
Oh, right. So what are you going to do? You're just going to send those horses somewhere else, are you? The horses that are trained by the best trainer and ridden by the best jockey are just like, they're invincible.
Put them in the races, put them 68 kilos on them, and and get horses in there with 52. We've got limits of 58 and down to 55. It's
Who has the most
top of the pyramid.
Who has the most
is ruined.
power in racing? Breeders. Well, breeders, but further down as trainers, because they're the vocal ones, and everyone's sucking up to them, going, please run, please run, please run your horses. And if you said to the trainers, we're going to put 68 kilos on your horse, they just go, we're going somewhere else. We're taking our bat and ball and going home.
We can't have $12,000 races on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, and getting fields of 20 and 21. The whole of last week, but just massive fields, and you get the races.
And all wet tracks at those places too, predominantly, I would say.
You get to the races in Sydney, and not only is it hard for me to tip a good thing to anyone at 10 or 12 to 1, because the 10 or 12 to 1 chance that's a good thing isn't there.
No.
If you notice when you first got my tips, I'd tip you 20s chances that run great races on top. They're not there. Even I send me tips out now like 6 to 4 from 5 to 2.
Yeah.
I fucking
So you turned into Gary Harley.
No, because I don't want to, but the marketplace has made you become
Well,
what
say
it is.
a horse like Jimmy Says Yes. Jimmy Says Yes was what, a pretty hard 6 to 1 chance in betting. That's really a good,
almost a roughie.
it's a good 20s chance, really, isn't it? Under normal circumstances.
Well, not in a field of 7.
Not in the field.
No, but what I'm saying is Jimmy Says Yes as a horse on a Saturday is a horse you'd say that's a good 20s chance.
Where are all the horses, mate? Bring them back. There must be some horses at the top of the pyramid. It's fucking annoying. I mean, we're getting to Sydney races and Flathead having an each
Look,
way
there's
bet.
another problem. There's another big problem.
We got another one?
It's called
Volandis? No.
it's called distance, right?
Yeah.
You've got to travel horses a long way. You've got to travel them over mountains. It's not well set up geographically,
As opposed to Victoria, which has
got to get.
most centres are within a couple of hours.
It's a good thought. I agree. You get your horses over the mountains, they're going to race down the western districts, and they stay over the mountain horses. And if they're better than that, they come to town, they stable.
I mean, like for instance, say a Port Macquarie is probably almost as far as any provincial centre in Melbourne is. And Port Macquarie is starting to say it's a bit of a hike to bring a horse down from Port Macquarie to run.
Not even halfway up the coast.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
All right, so we have a song.
yeah, we've got to shrink New South
We'll
Wales.
we'll get to something later, a media release.
There you go. There's something for you.
Yeah, media release this week.
We'll talk about the field sizes. We might do that in part 2, so we don't get too long.
Anyway,
in part 1.
Okay.
Man of the match, boys. Well, we'll come back to the weight scales.
Wasn't me.
No, Oliver and the team at Top Better for the new website.
Who's Oliver?
Oliver is the main man behind it.
Does he want more? Who is he?
Well, he's the person. He's the person who put the site, made most of the site together, and did most of the work. So
Is he a good man?
He's a good man.
Good man.
So the team
Do you
at
What is that? His second name or first name?
that's his first name. Oliver.
Call him
So
Ollie.
if he Oliver, that's a funny name.
Haven't you seen the movie Oliver?
Yeah, so I know one other Oliver. You ever met another Oliver?
And he was an orphan.
Yeah, and he wanted more.
Yes, please sir.
Like us. Okay, good on you, Oliver.
And
how old is he?
Oliver? Oh, he'd be
Late
30s.
Does he bet? Does he bet?
Does Oliver bet? I don't know.
Not sure.
He's a bit of a transitional nerd.
I
though.
think he's straight. He's straight with a.
So you
with
think
with,
he's straight? So
Nah,
he's
he's got a family. He's got a earring.
He's a transitional nerd. He's not
Yeah,
your typical
yeah.
nerd. No, we've got.
Oh, so he's
Yeah.
like a kind of a.
You,
He'd be a Newtown type. Is that what you're saying?
Oliver would fit in Newtown. Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of your parties you throw the keys in the bowl. you might get Oliver now, and you're lucky about that. Good on you, Oliver. Okay, so Oliver the team, but the site looks great.
Yeah, and all the boys, the Big Bang Theory boys.
They've got to get more of me on the site though. I feel like I'm left out.
Well, they've just got to get some of me on the side.
Yeah, just some of
Yeah,
you.
it's Ali's just started, boys. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Try to remember
Starting
me, Matt. You know, like we were, you know. It's all right for you youngsters, like you and Aaron
You
coming
guys,
through.
you guys had your own stories there last week.
there's-
Promoting yourself.
Yeah.
All your quotes.
As if I look at the site.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, and we've got to do that feature interview, Glenn, that you're so keen to do. You got a time for that yet, or?
Soon.
That's amazing. The feedback from those interviews is so positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
So positive.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, yours was great, and Stewie.
Everyone's raving about Stewie. He's such a humble man. He's a nice man, isn't he?
But I think also what Stewie said was quite alarming too. You know, about he's betting about 30% of what he is, and gone from 10% profit to 3% profit, and would leave the game if he could.
And if he's betting 30%, that means he's only having the Mickey Mouse bets. Yeah. He's not just throwing around, like me.
Anyway, well, but
The game's gone.
check it.
Is it gone?
Yeah, of course it's gone.
Beautifully gone.
Why don't we just shut up and just concentrate, put it all into Victoria?
Well, they say that about Tasmania shutting up soon.
Well, Tasmania comes to Victoria, so you get the best of Tasmania. The best of Sydney goes to Victoria. Then we've got a racing. Then we've got
So we have to
racing.
move to Melbourne.
Yeah.
With the show going on
you
down there?
actually don't have to
Show
make
going
it
on in Melbourne?
Show
That's the thing about racing, is that you just need to work out how to run it,
Yeah.
because everyone's remote now and people don't go to the races. Like, you don't need to move to bet on Melbourne races.
I do.
We do, because we need to see the horses.
You just need a live feed from the...
Nah, it's no good.
It's
It's
never
no good
never
because
good.
it's always this angle, that angle.
Yeah.
Gary Harley talking. Next
Yeah.
thing you've
Oh,
got
and
45 out and blowing your brains out.
And then don't you love when the directors put the big super across the horse and you see the jockey?
Jockey. And then you got like one, you know, this is a flighty type. Schofield once said, I like black horses. I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
I
You
just
hang
have
yourself.
to see them.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll just fly you down every week. No female pilots, and we'll just fly you down.
Not bad. Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Female pilots, get them out.
Beautiful. And the other man of the match is to our the great friend of the show, who's done the greatest disservice in racing probably of all time, in Cody Morgan, training the winner flukes during the week.
Fantastic.
He doesn't have many runners, does he, Glenn? But if you notice,
Well, he doesn't have many runners because he has to buy his own horses. He's not allowed to have owners.
he's had,
He was rubbed out of the game
19
for
runners this season for 6 wins.
Yes.
Profit on turnover 108%.
7 wins actually. You got 6, have you? He's 7. He's dating Lily as well. That's the 7.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Love Lily. Anyway, yeah, 6 wins. He's flying. What a trainer he is.
Yeah.
What about how he found us, we found him,
Yeah.
and now he's destined to be New South Wales greatest trainer within 10 years. He'll get that wallet in a headlock and pick his nose. Dirty, filthy wallet against Cody Morgan. Who would you rather back? The gun at your head to train your horse to save your life.
As long as Dan Gandon is riding Cody's horses, we'll be sweet.
And Lily's cheering in the grandstand. Go Cody!
Stable change, you'll never to Cody Morgan.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
What if you want Waller offcast? Anyway, well done to Cody for.
Well done, Cody.
It was what Flukes on Flukes was it?
It was a good race too.
Looks
It was
more
a good
race
race.
Thursday.
Yep. Well done, Cody. Good work. Glenn, last week, Alex emailed in and said he missed having golf stories. Alex's timing was perfect because there is one of the golf stories of all time about to be brought to everybody.
What have you done to me, Alex? If you remember last week, you mentioned that, and I did say on the show, yes, you're quite right, Alex, I've got to get back and watch something. Don't laugh, man. It's not mathematically possible.
Have you heard this, mate?
No.
This is
No. This is
British
not
Open?
yes, it's the British
possible.
Open.
Right.
This is what happens to me.
Okay.
So, in the US Open, it was a bit fly-blown. I backed 5 runners to win 50,000, which sounds like, oh, that's big betting, but they're all 600s and 500s. So I was having 80 and 100 and made a couple of hundred on 5 blokes. That's in the US Open. So going forward, the way I sort of bet, you tend to follow your stable a little bit. Well, after the US Open, I made the decision, I'm not getting enough sleep. This is my last major. I'm not betting any more on the majors, blah, blah, blah. I backed 5 blokes to win 50,000. I think I outlaid about 850. And they were this bloke, this bloke, this bloke, this bloke, this bloke. They were 200s, 500s, 500s, 600s and 600s to 1. So like 80, 80, 250, you know, not much of an outlay, blah, blah, blah. 5 blokes. So come the last round of the British Open last week, 3 of those 5 were in the top 25. And I said to you, Alex, I've got to get home and watch this because I don't really death ride, but I wouldn't like to see one of these guys get real close to that sort of price range, because going forward they're the same price.
So they've
The US Open is a field of 240. Fucking work this out there, you mathematicians. And the British Open is 240. And I backed 5 blokes with the shortest SP at 200s and the longest 600. So going forward to the next, out of those 5 blokes, 3 of them dead heated for first. Like 3 of them
did
were
they get close?
Well, they couldn't lose the playoff. They were the only 3 in it. So 3 of them, when you wrote the story, Alex, were in the top 25. So I wanted to go home and pull their tail a little bit. And every time I turned the TV on, they were knocking birdies in, and everyone else was bogey. And I'm going, this is not mathematically possible.
So when are we getting your mounting yard for the golf?
So there were Louis Vusterson, the Australian boy Mark Leishman, and the eventual winner. They're the 3 blokes I went back to win 50,000 at the previous major out of 5, out of 240 players, with the shortest SP of 200s.
And they've all started in the shortest SP.
Not only did 1 win, the 3 fuckers dead heated.
What price the trifecta?
Like, you know, I had to cheer in the playoff, everyone disqualifying themselves. But it's not possible. Let's go through it. That's it. Weekend hustler, first run the race. Might and Power unloaded in the Derby. Things that happened to me. The dog with the towel over the hair. Old mate.
The refresh betting at Kembla.
Refresh betting at Kembla. I backed Alibi at 33s no evens. Things that happened to me. Somewhere on my body is the tattoo 666. If there are any religious people out there that can come and help me, I'd be appreciative. But anyway, that's it. I'm back.
You
I'll
said
be back
you worked
in
out the odds of that trifecta in that field's about 1.6 billion to 1, was it? Or
so it was the odds of that trifecta, those 3, boxing 5 for $30 and a field of 240 using the SPs was 21 billion, 122 million to 1.
Probably worth half a unit.
So I basically death rode 2,000 lotto wins successfully. It's fucking not funny, Dallas.
There's a quote. I've death ridden 2,000 lotto wins
Where the
successfully.
horse wins successful?
Well, I don't mind so much death riding a horse if it wins because you think your form's in, or you're just being a fucking idiot. But when you just sit back with your cornflakes at 4 in the morning and you've got the little pillow in your lap because you're cold, you fill them with your dick and you think, oh, he won't get this part, and bang, it goes. And they're coming from everywhere. He's just like, and then you just walk around and like, you're just mental. It's not possible what happens to me on a race course.
All right, we'll keep the other news part for part 2. We'll move into Saturday.
I remember the winner's name now, Zach Johnson. Yeah.
There we go.
Zach
Thanks,
Johnson.
Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
Canterbury on Saturday, Mark. As we thought, being on the inside around the putt-turning bends was going to be a profitable thing.
How did Awasita do what it did?
Which was
Awasita. The roughie that ran
well,
second.
that race just proves there's no form in that race. Them horses do not have any form. But how did it do it?
Yeah, how did they do it? But because, you know, you just pointed out, Dal, that and as often is the case, that the Huey ride on burnt bridges is the way to play.
Yep.
You know, it's whereas the Kerrin ride on way to go is not the way to play.
No, the Blake ride on Hollywood Bound in the last is not the way to play.
No.
Blake actually didn't handle it.
No, Blake seems to come to the pressure. He's obviously out of this jockey premiership now. I think we've got James going into Wednesday. He needs to ride 4 winners.
I
don't think he's got 4 on.
No, $1.03. His official betting is $1.03 here. Okay. Yeah, so it's all over.
Well, yeah.
Unless you
unless I back you.
you.
I have 3,000 on you, see if I win $90 on him.
Yeah. And Hugh disqualifies himself. Hang on, Katie Keurig.
It's not possible.
There we go, we've lost Glenn. We'll talk about the races down, Mark. We've lost Glenn.
I don't know how to do it. Seeking Asylum, it's a better horse than I thought. Got that Portelli polish, but man, it's a little line chaser.
You just say that those horses will never be sighted again.
But how to win?
It is a line chaser, yeah.
Fitness up and running,
Something
like every other
interesting in
2-year-old
that
the last
race,
month.
which I don't think, I haven't looked at the stewards' report, but I don't think it was noticed. It was noticed by me that I just think that going into every race, and I don't want to start slagging Tommy Berry because after we gave him whatever we said to him 2 weeks ago, but I don't think he's got any right to be on a horse, Angel's Touch, and find a great spot and running with 4 and 5 abreast, and then all of a sudden Gaze on thing somehow gets in front of him and gets 1 out, 1 back. I think he's got to push up, hold his position to make sure he can get that horse beat. Did you know something about that? Too nice.
Too polite.
He said, "I'll come in, Balboa."
Yeah, well, that's the corollary of shaking hands with Matt Rudolph.
Well, it's just you got to, you know. I didn't want Balboa to run a place in that race. If he pushes up and holds some sort of position, it's forward in the line. Balboa doesn't get in, doesn't run a place.
Just quickly on that horse, Glenn, plenty of improvement to him. Balboa
My word, there is, yeah.
he wasn't.
He was tamed to the line, wasn't he? Like he had
but
the race by the scruff of the neck, and he just went.
From looking at him, the yard mark, there was no surprise because he's up to 1500.
But we keep saying about Gay's horses not looking right. What makes them start to look right? I don't like. We've said this for a few years now. You said, "Oh, it's got so much improvement." This Gay horse. Gay horses don't improve from there. Like they don't get any better from their return.
There's an old saying with gays, going back to Tommy, bone and muscle. That was what you heard, bone and muscle. When she's away, the polish that's left on isn't bone and muscle.
So you're saying that Marty and Echo Gal and Balboa
I think Marty's a different one. I think she's on a sort of a bit of a campaign. I think
that Echo Gal was fat the other day, and you know, how did she look at that?
Yeah, they're probably.
I actually don't mind them going forward because they've got the condition there to work with.
Yeah,
but I don't think
not
I don't think
screwed out.
anything changes. You're saying these horses have scope for change, but I'm saying nothing changes.
no, I think haven't a lot of her horses been improving a bit more through their preps now, like Pornichet, for instance, and that. You know, she's.
Pornichet's a project.
I love the name of it.
not a bread and butter.
Yeah, but I think even with some of the bread and butters. Anyway,
Well, we'll just keep an eye on that.
See how they do.
Because
That bird there, you know, that's one of those birds, but it looks like the dad's a kookaburra. Not the baggy, the other one over there. It's like half kookaburra, half that other type of bird.
what are you talking about?
the Maggie,
No, not the Maggie.
the Mana.
That one, yeah, the Mina. It's half kookaburra, half Mina.
So you're saying the kookaburra's dusted up a liner?
It's dust up a Mina for sure.
Can
Don't
you
you
tweet in any
Any
crossbred birds?
well,
Is it possible for a kookaburra and a minor bird to
get together?
white people,
well, actually, in Erskineville, anything's possible.
white people mate with black people. Or Asians. They do. According to Barry Forrester on the weekend, Asians taste better. That's what he told me. I said, what do? They douse down there with MSG or something? He said, that's what he said to me. I swear to you, I'm not making that up. I said, why do you like Asians so much, Barry? Asian women. He said, they taste better. I said, oh. What do they douse it up with MSG? And he
Heard you the verse.
he called it,
I'm glad he did.
sushi pasimi or something. Pussy sashimi.
Oh right.
Yeah. That's not mine. That's not a joke. That's what I heard the track. That's from the punting show.
Mark, Brook Road was probably the star of the day.
Was it?
In some way. Is
Did
it?
the job.
Did the job, but
everything's
it's run a
fine.
second faster. than the
Herbero's
other
run
race.
second there now.
Yeah.
So let's look at this. Kinsella has tippy-toed the line for how many years now?
Yeah, that's right.
You know.
Zaratone's 10.
But Zaratone, like, you can't win from those positions sitting outside the lead there.
And he was always going to be there.
Yeah,
You made that
can't win
point.
there.
So you can't win there.
So what are we left with now? Decision Time, which was the best back runner in the race,
Yes.
and Aaron liked Decision Time.
Yeah.
And I think that was actually fair enough because
He was going to get that part.
but it has not put in.
It's got nothing.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there was Brook Road at 2 to 5
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah, there it is.
Well, what about that? Was Kinsella's race, wasn't it? Why James was skirted off the fence the entire race? I thought that was a strange.
Yeah, I know. He did.
What's
He
sitting
wasn't
14?
rails hugging.
Leading two off.
Yeah,
I'm saying if he sticks to fence, he might be in the finish.
Well, I suppose Brook Road has trouble getting
I
through there.
cracked a
doesn't
joke at the young James prior to race 1, and we're quite friendly, and foul, look, grizzly.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he's a grizzly. I think he's a young Huey.
he? Oh, he's going that way.
You get good James, or you get...
Oh,
Because I'm always going to do with weight.
yeah.
It's all right for us having a pizza every night and 3 beers. I think James is a young Hugh. You know, Hugh, like a good Hugh is a great jockey to back.
Yeah.
But Hugh,
As you said on the show the other day, you don't want Huey saying hello to you. You want Huey telling you you're just growling at you. Mark, Foreign Prince is the horse you found for the day.
Well done, Mark.
$1.90, I think you marked it officially on your sheets, and
Yeah,
was well handled by Jesse
He just
Patella.
loves taking. He just loves taking. So we get to that race and he starts reading his most and he goes 4 3/4 to 1.
Yeah, real clever.
575. He loved it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I really like Foreign Prince. Interestingly, I thought I took $8 on Friday morning and I copped it up the arse with 38.5 cents.
Oh, wow.
which wasn't terrible. That wasn't unrealistic.
But you
That got me 4.92.
Yeah, that's not that great considering.
Right. No. Well, what the worst bit is that the bookie in question was $7
After scratchings.
No, $7 before scratchings, and turn it into $5.50, and then says no, you can have 38.5 cents out of all the bets before I'm $5.50.
No.
So the $7 becomes $4.30 with the deduction, but they go $7 into $5.50.
Yeah. I thought
It's a bit rude, isn't it?
Yeah, I would think so much.
Seems wrong.
It's a real manual thing with the bookies these days. They just tally up the deductions.
Well,
and just chuck
they're
it in.
inclined to be a bit kind, but the tab said 31 cents for Mara Nostro and 6 cents for Moral Victory. So they said 37 cents.
Yeah,
And I suppose that looks all right, but it was a slightly sour ending.
yes, but he did what you thought if things were going right for him, there did look to be a little bit of a class gap.
There's a
between
set
him
of races that have been going on, the Mara Nostro set of races, and this will fall into that category as well.
Yeah.
That have been absolutely legless Saturday races.
Yep.
Completely legless. And on the subject of that race, what is it with Keep It To Yourself that he has to be dropping out at 200
And then
before he gets going?
Amazing horse. I mean, he was last at the 200 in that race.
Yeah, but after
and then he picked up the bit and he charged. Hollywood Bound's gone up and down. If you back Hollywood Bound 6, and then also Blake was a bit soft late. Now I know some insurers, but they reminded him of his obligation to ride out, but they were sweet with him.
Yeah, Huey was on one as well. It might have been Coolring. He held on for third, but a couple more strides he gets
I think
nodded.
this end of the season, seeing these jockeys out, they're all exhausted.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite really. Do we get the month's break though?
Yeah, we do.
Not really.
Moving along, Marco, the Tarquin form race is looking better and better all the time.
Well, it's an interesting thing, isn't it? And that's the deliciousness of racing. You know, we come into that race one on Saturday, and Let's Make It Rain is just given no hope by the market. I mean, it was backed,
14
like they did bet around
Yeah.
certain horses in that race, but
14s to 11s is a roughie these days.
Well,
yeah, but I mean, the interesting
Under
thing was that I put them down. I basically had 8 turns between Vanbrugh and Let's Make It Rain. So, but anyone looking at that race is going, well, Let's Make It Rain cannot beat Vanbrugh based on what happened first up. But it can.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? Isn't that awesome?
It is a touch delicious.
Bruce McAvaney.
Well, he said delicious.
Special.
Yeah. Well, look, you know, Vanbrugh he's a suspect horse, and anything that the blue colours put down at the moment is a suspect horse.
Again, this time of year too. We mentioned that many times.
Someone suggested to me that they're all looking healthy and happy, but
They are.
but not
screwed up.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
sort of. And wasn't it the same case? Wasn't that the same way at this time last year?
Yeah.
But you often say that to me, it wasn't the same case as this time last year, and I can never remember.
Yeah, remember we said, you know, that we had...
Because to me, a year feels like about 2 months ago.
Yeah, well, remember last year we were saying that Ricochet, well, he wasn't even ripped then.
No, he wasn't. But he was like, you were just bagging the shit out of him.
They just couldn't go. And then
That's
the
when
year...
he first started.
the year...
So has he been in the job about 1 and a quarter years now?
Yeah, about that. I think he took over Hawkesbury meeting, wasn't it?
Yeah, May last year.
Yeah, and then the year before, remember we said with the Snowden team, they couldn't even get to the bend at this time of year.
It's interesting, these trends.
So
Yeah, but I mean, like with
if
these
you were
stables, they've
asking-
been bringing a lot of you know, younger horses, carnival horses, getting prepped up. So their numbers aren't overly there for racing.
Oh.
Whereas Chris has probably got more boxes than everyone, so he can be a 12-month.
Well, Chris
year
just
trainer.
chomps this stuff up, and I'm pissed off about the staying race because the staying race had a very different look after scratchings.
Yeah.
And so, there you go, Horry goes 10 to 9 beyond thankful. And I'm going, yeah, of course it's just going to sit on Crabtree.
Yeah.
There it is. Samako has got no edges in the race, other than he's the last start winner and started shorter. But in terms of making things happen,
But isn't that
nothing.
something? The last start winner that started shorter?
Yeah, but
You say he's got nothing. I'm just saying, isn't that something?
Nothing's a bit of an absolute.
I'm saying visualise the race and go, okay, Samako's going to be mid-back, one off the fence. There's nothing positive about his likely position in the run. He has to make it all happen. He has
I
to.
think you're
like-
talking after the race. I can't see it that way.
No, well, when they came across,
And you're
because,
right,
because
Samako hasn't
originally
got
I'm thinking, okay, in the field of 10 or whatever it was before, I'm thinking Beyond Thankful has to sit outside lead. in the field of 6, there's this huge gap, and he just slots in there, and he's tracking the leader. He's on the back of the leader. And I'm going, this is fucked. This is so fucked, because my opinion of you has been formed in the full field.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get to where I needed to get to.
Because you already...
Because there's now a field of 6, and I needed to reimagination. I needed to actually come at that race after stretching.
And it's actually good to see a lot of... I was hearing a bit of the general comments about it too now, saying, well, what are they doing? The track was always going to be heavy. We haven't had a good track forever, but yet we still have 20 odd scratches.
Yeah, what is the story?
Did all the trainers wake up and go, oh shit, it's a heavy track? You wouldn't believe it. You know,
well, if anything, the weather was quite good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. If anything, it was a little bit better. It was, put it this way, it was on the upside of what it could have been. So why nominate?
I don't know. There it is.
Anyway, that's fine. We've spoken about that. Your man Nash came back and probably gets votes in the Salorda for his first ride on Aurora Glow. Should have won.
Yeah, he missed the boat there.
Did he only have the one ride?
No, Christy Lee. He had 3 rides. Eaglestein was scratched.
Christy Lee rode one.
Christy Lee,
I suppose. And
Boss
Boss Lane.
What else could he do?
But he did it right. But I mean, she needs things to go away. Boss Lane, Ronnie Quinnen. He's got improvement, Glenn, but I don't know what that fucking means.
Well, what about Ronnie just turning up here and
2 winners?
2 winners, and look at the prices of them. They're your prices.
Yeah, but you can't. They're my prices in like 10 horse races. I was too busy drinking Vanbrugh.
But that's the thing, you know, they're those prices for a reason.
Do my hearts.
And I suppose the last comment, way we go, Glenn.
Real from the parade, Dal.
Yeah,
just impossible to have.
Yeah.
It didn't look. It was a perfect example of being a really nice horse and then going right back.
Put it this way, if you had a looked at that horse and not been told it was the same,
you wouldn't think it was the same.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
There it is.
Yeah.
So in 2 weeks,
now, is that right?
Well, is it gone to Hong Kong?
In 2 weeks, yeah. In 2 weeks.
What happened in 2 weeks?
Well, I don't know. I don't feed it. I don't stable it. Did it work? I don't know.
Yeah.
They're busy just keeping it on shampoo to sell it.
Like, I for me the difference between what you saw at Grandwick 2 weeks ago. No, what is it? Half a horse? Like it had lost 50 kilos?
It looked like it lost 5 lengths.
Yeah.
To 7 lengths. It looked like it couldn't have it. Like going there, I thought it was top pick, tricky draw for Karen, top pick. Wouldn't. I laid in the place and happy to.
And what did you think about Karen's plan in the race?
I thought it lacked anything, but maybe he didn't have the engine underneath him to make decisions to go left and right.
It didn't look like he was trying to go left or right.
But maybe
unless he made that decision before the barrier.
What about when they jump the first 400 and you got the feel of the horse? You don't know what the feel of the horse is. Neither do I. They tell me, we know what the feel of a Volkswagen is and the feel of a BMW is. We know that. Well, they tell me riding horses is very similar.
Right.
So
he knows
a lot of jockeys know the feel of the horse getting to the barriers. So we don't know. Maybe you get around and think this thing's fucked. I'll jump out, stay out of trouble, and pick up my riding thing. I don't know what jockeys think. I hate them.
And on that note, that's
even when I like them, I hate them. That's the end of part 1.
Thank you. Apart from the gun.
He's the best.